everyone, welcome to another episode of PixlFeed Radio, and I'm here with my friend Kim Peak. Kim, how you doing today?
I am great. How are you today?
I'm good. And for those of you that don't know, Kim actually owns an agency with her daughter, and the name of it is Iris Digital Media Group, and they actually specialize in content. How to grow your business how to achieve content growth with your business. And you help podcasters as well, I saw on there. So we're going to get into a little bit of that, see how you guys do it. But before we get there, why don't you tell me a little bit about your story? How did you get started into entrepreneurship? Were you one of those kids that was like doing side things on the side, or how does the whole story go?
You know, I was one of those kids who always had the lemonade stand. So
yes,
I guess we did have the early beginnings of that. But really, I liked to write. And in high school, when, they start talking to you about what are you going to be when you grow up, it was like, well, I like to write, but, that's not very practical. So my dad was pushing me kind of toward business. And we said, wait a second, you know who gets to write and do business stuff? Copywriters. And so, this is 30 years ago. I was like, I'm going to be a copywriter. And so what I really liked to do was write radio copy. So you can imagine my surprise when I got out of college and realized that wasn't going to pay the bills.
Radio is a tough business. I know people in the industry, and, I know one person who made it for a short, and I say a short time because they had one of the biggest shows in the Dallas market. And then at one point, I guess the radio station flipped the switch to a different format. And then that was the end of that. And it's like, he's doing well now, don't get me wrong, but it was like, it was at that moment. And this is also super early 2000s. So like 2000, 2001, like podcasts weren't really a thing yet. Online wasn't like it is now. So radio was it, talk radio. But it's a tough business. He used to tell me all the stories about, he was broke for like 15 years before he got a show and actually made it. So it's not an easy business, huh?
Well, and it wasn't even being on air that I wanted. I just wanted to write the ads. I wanted to write radio ad copy.
Yeah. How do you even get into that?
The money was on the sales side. If you're going to be in media, you need to be the salesperson because they make money.
Right.
And so then I had a lot of years of my career where I was working as an ad sales manager. I got hired in the cable industry back when you still had to explain to people what ESPN was and what all the cable. They're like, what? What is this thing called cable? So I got hired in the cable industry. I did get to write my own ads and then kind of moved through a bunch of different jobs. And was an ad sales manager, and then moved to Iowa and was a regional ad sales manager. Ultimately, the cable business has grown and expanded and grown and expanded. But I was in the business back in the days when people speculated about what is life going to be like right where we are right now. What is the future of television going to look like? Is it going to be... I don't think any of us ever imagined it was going to be, that you could watch shows on your phone.
Yeah.
My first computer had way less memory than my phone does now.
Right.
And so, I was in the business back when we were talking about what is the future of media going to look like. And so that was kind of exciting. Then as the cable industry changed, I got out of the business for a while. I had kids. And always kind of had some side business going on. And I still stayed in the industry, still networked with people. And then for the past 10 years have worked off and on for an agency that focuses on lead generation and blogging, content creation. And then this past year, it just got to feel so stressful with I have kids who came home from college because of the pandemic, and my husband's working from home because of the pandemic, and life just kind of changed.
Right.
And so my job started to feel really stressful, and I felt every day like I was having a heart attack. It just wasn't fun anymore.
Right.
And you mentioned at the beginning that my daughter, I started an agency with her. Mm-hmm. So I quit my job And in January, my daughter still was unable to find a job. She is an actor living in New York. She graduated from college and moved to New York right as the pandemic was starting.
I'm so jealous. I never did the New York thing in like my early 20s. I would love to be in New York in my early 20s. So I was too busy. I was too busy doing other stuff, and I didn't get to experience that. I'm so jealous of that.
Well,
So was
I'm
she
a little
living
bit
like
jealous
in
of
a
her life
closet?
too. She is having the most amazing life.
Is she still there?
Yes, she is.
Is she living in a closet with 6 roommates?
No, she's living in a studio apartment,
Uh-huh.
right off of Wall Street. But she was living in a really kind of scary area where there were shootings happening right outside her doorstep, literally
Yeah.
right outside her doorstep.
Yeah.
And so she might be getting a little financial help from her parents right now until
Yeah, New York. Well, New York's not cheap, but right now everybody's moving here to Florida, so I don't know what's going on up there. And now it's the time to swoop something up there. But no, that's cool, man. She's getting to do that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So she did come home for a little bit last summer, and then she moved back. It's been her dream. And I think that if you can do that in your early 20s or whatever time in your life, if you have the opportunity to make that happen, when else are you going to be able to do something like that? So,
No, 100%.
so she's living in New York, waiting for Broadway to open up so she can start auditioning for things, waiting for film sets to start opening up again so she can start auditioning. And I just read today that New York is planning to be 100% opened as of July 1st.
Yeah, so she's gonna get hit it hardcore, try to get the bookings and all that stuff. No, that's awesome. I admire that. That's really cool.
But she had been doing marketing and content creation for people since she was in middle school. This is just her thing. I mean, and she really, really gets it. And so when I decided to quit my job and she still was unemployed, we're like, why don't we just do this thing together? And it's worked out really great.
Well, I mean, you know how to write copy. That's like I wouldn't say 90. That's like 70% of it. I mean, if you can write good copy, you can sell anything. I mean, you can sell a rock, like a pet rock in the 80s. That's all copy. You know? It's
like the interview question. Sell me this pen.
Yeah, sell me this pen, right? Like Wolf of Wall Street. I'm curious now, since you were doing copywriting, is there like a particular person that you learned from how to do copywriting, or anybody that really stands out? Who were the people you look at, or you just started writing and then?
I just started writing. I mean, my degree is in advertising, so we had to write a lot of copy in school. Mm-hmm. But then it's just a lot of reading and studying. And I also think that the copy that 30, 35 years ago that we grew up on and people were telling us was great copy, mm-hmm. wasn't necessarily great, wouldn't stand up today as great copy. Because when you think about what that standard was, it was what copy wins awards. And award-winning commercials, award-winning ads don't necessarily sell anything. And right now, especially now, if you're going to invest money in stuff, you want it to deliver some sort of ROI.
Absolutely. Yes. ROI. That's what I'm like going in my head. I'm like, yeah, if I'm writing an ad, it needs to bring money back right away. So you're saying,
I think it's a different standard than it was back then.
Well, I think it was different media too. You only had TV and radio. So it's like, okay, we're going to put an ad out there. There's no really direct way for us to measure the results unless we use like different numbers and different markets and different call to actions. But even then, it's like, it's not like it is now. We can track it down to the penny. Well, not anymore because of the stupid Apple update now, but we could track it down to the penny. So I think it was a different market, but I mean, as far as like copy goes, I mean, I'm by no means like a professional copywriter, but I can write copy. And I mean, I look up to people like, Clay and Ogilvy and, Dan Kennedy, like those guys. I mean, those for me, it's like, that's epitome of marketing and copy. So, but I mean, Ogilvy, you read his copy from the 60s and it's still, I mean, yeah, obviously it's not going to be like it is today because of technology and it's a different world, but I think the foundation's still there of like, hook, pain, solution to the pain, benefits, social proof,
Yeah, good point.
scarcity, call to action. You know what I mean? Like, I think the format's still there. So, and that's, you know, that's what you got to do. You know, follow that format when it comes to your ads and you know, any sales letter that you write, anything like that. That's really cool. So when it comes to so you started the agency. When you guys started putting everything together, these processes in place for clients, when you guys sat down to try to figure out what you were going to offer, what was the number one thing you wanted to concentrate on, and how did it expand from there?
Well, you know, we really just wanted to, I mean, this is completely not the way you're supposed to start a business, but we just wanted to have fun. And we wanted to kind of just get out there. We were really heavy into Clubhouse in January when we started. Yeah. And so we're just like, let's just start talking to people. Let's let our friends know what we're doing. Let's see what the people who know what our skills are interested in hiring us for. And again, it's worked out really great for us. And because Abby, who's my daughter, has such a great background in video, we always thought that we would focus on video, and we're doing a lot more with that too. Mm-hmm. You know, with Reels and TikTok and just every social media platform forcing the video aspect. I think it makes sense to focus on video. Video isn't going away. And so we do a lot with video. What's surprising to me though, is how many clients you work with who you say, okay, we have to do video. And nobody wants to put their face on camera, or it's, what do I say? I don't know what to say.
Isn't it amazing?
Really isn't a video problem. That's more of a strategy problem, but it's really interesting to me.
So I like that you brought up Clubhouse, because I got in Clubhouse when it first started, like I got invited right away, and I can't do it. I don't have the time to be sitting there in rooms all day long. So when it first started, like I will get on like here and there. And I know people who have taken advantage of it. I just, honestly, I don't have the time to be on there. So how did you guys use it? I'm curious to see how you guys used it to your advantage to grow the business.
I loved it in January. I probably still loved it in February, but I kept on saying that as more people got on Clubhouse, it was going to change. And I think it's finally hit that point where it has changed. So
you mean to tell me you don't like the become a 9-figure ultra millionaire overnight in rooms?
No.
Yeah, no, right?
No. I don't like sitting in rooms with people who talk for the sake of hearing themselves talk, right, or for the sake of pumping up all of their friends that have grown up in the business together. Mm-hmm. I do like, though, when you have a smaller room and you just have and you actually get people to show up for your room and you have real conversations. We did a happy hour a couple months ago where I didn't really have anything planned. I said, I want to play a game. Just we'll see who comes in the room. And have you heard of Pod Decks?
No, I haven't. What is it?
So it's an app, and it has a monthly or an annual fee, and it just has all kinds of questions. And it's designed for podcasters who might need to come up with questions to ask on their podcast.
Right.
And to me, it's more of an icebreaker. Like you could do it at a meeting, or if you had a bunch of people in a car, or you just were in a situation where you didn't know people, you could use it and ask questions. So I just thought, I'm going to pull up all these random pod deck questions, and we're just going to, every time we have a lull in the conversation, I'm going to go around the room and have everybody answer. And we had so much fun.
So you got everybody involved in the conversation.
Every single person in the room got involved, and it was a small room. But everybody followed each other on Instagram, and some of the people are still communicating, which to me, that is what is a good room. Not going in the Clubhouse room and adding Clubhouse followers, but whatever you're doing in that room, resulting in a real connection that you can use outside of the room. So people connect on Instagram, and then they have an actual real conversation or network, or, hey, you were really great. I loved what you said. Would you be on my podcast? Things like that. To me, that's the real life stuff that should be happening. Yeah. But what I'm feeling like is happening more is it's the 6-figure, 7-figure earner stuff, or it's people just sitting on there for hours. Can I sit on there for 12 hours so that I can rack up followers so that I have more clout on the platform. And I feel like it's gotten harder for people who are smaller, or if you just joined tomorrow, if you host a room, for your room even to show up in the hallway where people can find it.
Well, I know for a fact that it's the way you show up at I don't even know what it's called, the feed or whatever you want to call it, where people can discover your space on the SEO that you use on your actual profile and the keywords that you use in the title. So it has to match up with both. So if you match both from the profile to the keywords in the room, it bumps you all the way up. So there's a little tip that I haven't tested it myself. I was told that multiple times by multiple people that I highly respect in this business. So I don't see why it would be a lie. So anybody who's using Clubhouse, try that and see how it works for you. But
I've heard that there's something in their algorithm that they have where whoever's in charge of Clubhouse can set it, and they can set their preferences for, if you're a person that I want to show up, I'm going to make your stuff bump up higher. So there's I've heard, I don't know if it's true, that there are some manual settings in there too.
That's how most algorithms work, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. Whatever you interact with or you have a connection with, that's what's going to bump up to the top of your feed. So you see it. So it makes sense. Same for Twitter. It's just about engagement. So yeah, I can see how it would do that and why it would do that. That's really cool though. So you got a lot of growth just from taking advantage of Clubhouse when it opened, huh?
We did. We had a lot of great conversations. There was a group of women that I've never met in person, who I met all in a Facebook group, and we had a regular Saturday and Sunday room. We did one that was just on marketing strategies, and then on Sundays we would do one that was tech talk, and we would introduce just a tech tool that we were using or that we had discovered that week. And that really got a great following, just in terms of, and again, lots of people showing up because they just wanted to collaborate and share ideas and hear what other people had to say. Not so much, oh, get up here and listen to me talk, but let's collaborate. And that's where I think the greatest value of Clubhouse is in that collaboration, when you can get in a room where that's what people want to do.
Yeah. And okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So now that you have the growth on Clubhouse, were you guys doing any other type of prospecting to get new clients for the agency besides Clubhouse or referrals?
Everything was on Clubhouse, and then just sharing what we're up to on our LinkedIn and on our Facebook, and word of mouth from friends who knew us and knew our reputations and knew what we're up to, and referrals from other agencies who, oh, somebody approached me about this, but this isn't the work we do. And so they would refer them to us.
Yeah, I don't do content. So I was like, we're not your people for content.
Exactly. So that's the kind of stuff we're getting. Wait, we don't do content, but hey,
yeah,
Kim
content is hard. Content is hard. Listen, I'll be the first one to admit here. So everybody who's listening and watching, I'm the first slacker when it comes to my personal branding content, because I know my place, and I'm very ROI oriented on everything that I do. So for example, my podcast and my YouTube channel just got monetized. So until that makes me enough money on its own to pay people to take care of all the for what you do, I'm not touching it. But I did it the way that I know it's the right way to do it, which is okay, I'm going to pick one platform. Well, in this case, I did two, because I can knock two birds with one stone. And that's it. That's what I'm sticking to. I have all my handles for everything else, but the only ones that I use is Twitter for work. And, because I have personal conversations in there with people in the industry. And then, YouTube is my thing, because I can talk all day, I can make my videos, and it's the best way that I find to communicate. I can write copy, but do I prefer to sit there on a Saturday morning and spend 3 hours to write an email? Absolutely not. I don't enjoy it. So that's why I like having, companies like yours. It's all right, once this makes X amount of money and I can afford to hire you, go for it. Chop everything up and put it out there and blow. My site sucks for this. My site is a disaster right now. I just renewed the SSL yesterday. I think it was, yesterday, because I didn't even know it was expired. So what is your process like? So let's say I come to you. I'm listen, I have a YouTube channel. I just hit 200 videos the other day. I need to chop up all that content. I need it on Instagram. I need it on Facebook. I need it in a separate Twitter account because my Twitter is personal. And what is the process? Like, walk me through the process of us, if you didn't know who I was and I just walked into your office or on a call.
Yeah, so this is my favorite part. First, we always start off just with a free consultation, just getting on, just like we're doing right now, just talking, because I want to know if we even like each other, if we're going to want to work together.
Sure.
But then I always try to offer lots of value. I try to share lots of ideas of, hey, you know, I looked at your Instagram account and I saw this, or hey, I looked at whatever, so that they know that I'm not just one of those people that's out there to take their money. I want people to know ahead of time that I am going to work hard for you and deliver value. So I always try to deliver value on that consultation call. But then once we're working with somebody, you know, we just get to know them. We learn about their business. We will have them send us, let's say you have a video on YouTube and you say, let's start with this one video. So I'll have you send me that video. We usually put it in a Google Drive or a Dropbox folder. And then we use Descript. Are you familiar with Descript?
No, what is that? I was going to ask you what tools you guys use, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we put it in Descript. I love this tool. You put your video in there, or you can put your audio file in there, and then it will transcribe it. And then it's a visual editor. So I can look at all of the text and I can go, oh, he said something really good right here. And you just scroll over it, copy it, right click on it and say, I'm going to save this clip. So you're using it, you're saving based on the text, and it will save that video clip.
I need this. So what's the name of that tool? Descript?
Descript. So
I'm writing this down.
You visually chunk out your clips that you want, which right there saves you a zillion hours of time, right?
I was wondering how you guys did that, because I'm like, who's going to sit here and watch every single video and like mark, you know, certain.
So then once I have all the clips created, then I decide, just go back through the clips and I say, is this going to be a graphic where I copy and paste the text I just clipped, copy and paste that into, let's say, Canva? Or is it going to be an audiogram? And so then I export that file as an audio file. Or is it going to be a video?
What's an audiogram?
It's one of those squares where you see the visual zigzags.
Oh, yeah, those are cool. Yeah.
And then it has the subtitles under it.
And you do, okay, so how do you guys make those? What do you use to make those?
I use Headliner. So I put
Headliner?
it in the Headliner. You can do some with Descript. Yeah. But I put it into Headliner because I just like the way that the subtitles look better.
Okay. I have heard of Headliner. Yeah. Because I get their emails. So at one point I logged in and checked it out, but I haven't used it.
So with Headliner, you can say, I want it to be a square. I want it to be a vertical rectangle. I want it to be horizontal. And so you pick your shape. And then you decide if you're going to do a video or an audio file. And then it will transcribe your video. Sometimes it'll still ask me, I don't know what I'm doing, but sometimes it'll still ask me for that subtitle file, that SRT file that sometimes if you're doing like a Facebook ad, you have to upload yourself.
Yeah, the caption file, yeah.
So you can also, from Descript, download that SRT, the subtitle file, and then you upload that into something like Headliner too. But it also will transcribe the video file. But if you're doing an audiogram, like if you want that square graphic with the little squiggle lines that shows that somebody's talking, then you upload the caption file. And then in Headliner, it gives you the opportunity to go through and correct the transcription, because it's never always perfect.
I use Revit. It's never perfect either.
Yeah, it's never perfect. So you fix your caption, and then on Headliner or in Descript, whichever one you're creating your audio, let's say you're doing an audiogram, you can upload your graphic file. So if you have a certain background you want to use, maybe you created that background in Canva, you can upload that so you have a nice background. And in Headliner, it gives you a lot more options for where you place that graphic file vertically and horizontally. And then it gives you a lot more options as far as font and colors. And
Canva is such a great tool. My one of my social media girl for one of my brands. She's amazing. I mean, this is why I hire her, because she just has the touch for like, making the pretty stuff, because it's a girly brand. And then one day on the fly, it was like Saturday, 11 p.m. I'm like, I need to get an email ready for the morning for a campaign. And I'm like, I'll just log into Canva and use one of her templates. And I felt so dumb because I logged in, and I used Canva before, right? But I come from the Photoshop generation. So I've been using Photoshop since I was a kid, basically. And I log in there. I could not figure out how to move the picture back to the background from the forefront so it will fit inside the frame. So I literally had to send her a message. I'm like, help, like I need this freaking template fixed and I can't figure out. It's just like, oh no, you just click here. I'm like, are you kidding me? But it's like, Canva's great because, I mean, with Photoshop, it's just blank. I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. Canva is like, you have your text, you have your frames, you have like, I mean, it's a fantastic tool, right?
It is, and it has gotten a lot better, I feel like, in the last couple of months. There is a feature in there that not everybody knows about yet. I mean, people are starting to learn, but for people who want to do Instagram Reels or TikToks, you can do your Reels right in Canva now.
Oh, really? That's gold right there, man. Yeah. If you listen to this, that's your golden nugget right there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can create those in Canva, which it doesn't really look like the Reels or TikTok style with the little, I mean, you could make it look that way.
Right.
But if you're somebody who is just like, I need to do video, I need to crank this out, I don't have time to use my phone and move my thumbs and try to get that caption at exactly the right spot, this is the way you do it, because it just, again, it saves time. I'm all about being efficient.
I wish I could spend the time to really learn TikTok and make TikToks. But I mean, listen, I consume TikTok. I'm guilty of laying in bed for 2 hours scrolling through my TikTok feed, because the algorithm is amazing at showing me what I like. And I see some of these kids, kids, they're in their 20s. Like, I still call them kids. I don't care. And I'm just like, they're so creative. I'm like, there's no way I could come up with any of this stuff. Like, it's a whole different level. And it's such an advantage if you can get on there and start creating that content. But for business, if you just watch a few TikToks, you can implement what they're doing, right?
Well, yeah. And on Instagram now, I mean, Instagram is prioritizing Reels a crazy amount. So what you're putting in your little square feed isn't even showing up hardly at all anymore.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I just had this meeting the other day.
Will get just so much more reach.
Right.
And another
Well, you know why, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. They're going after TikTok.
Well, right.
Yeah, obviously. So yeah, that's why.
So, what was I going to say about that? I completely lost my train of thought. But anyway, yeah, they're pushing those reels.
It happens to me sometimes. Don't feel bad.
Those reels, and nothing in your feed is getting any visibility. So I feel like you need to spend time doing reels, even if it's not your favorite thing. That's where I was going. So one of the things that they have in there, which another trick that makes it really easy, you know how I'm losing the word, but you know how on TikTok you can duet somebody's video?
Yeah, stitch.
There's that feature now on Instagram Reels too. So you just find something you like. I mean, it's completely okay to flat out copy somebody because that's the purpose.
Yeah, I just had this meeting with quote unquote social media girl. I can say Becca. Becca listens to this. No, with Becca, who's in charge of all the social media for Instagram and all that stuff. And I had a meeting with her the other day. I'm like, listen, like, I don't want you to worry about, the stats, because, she knows I'm a data guy. So I'm on the stats like all day, every day. And I'm like, listen, she was freaking out about it. I'm like, I just had a meeting with Facebook. I'm like, the reach is choked out. Like, I'm not going to have you spend your whole day creating 3 reels a day, 5 posts for the feed, and then IGTV, and then all this just to get a little bit of organic reach. I was like, the ads won't make up for it. It's crazy. It's like a full-time job now to get an Instagram account to rank, unless you've been there forever with a huge following. And even those people are losing a lot of reach. So they're moving to like TikTok.
So you know what else we're seeing a lot of good results with? Mm-hmm. Pinterest has also started doing the video content. So and I think you have something like up to 15 minutes of video you can post. So you could
it was 15 minutes, but we've been doing Pinterest, and Pinterest, we get crazy organic reach in there. I couldn't believe it. So you
can take that same video you created for your Instagram story or Instagram reel.
Yeah. Share
it on Pinterest, and you're going to get some good reach and probably some good click-throughs also.
No, you do. And it's, you know, people forget about Pinterest, but it's millions of people. It's, you know, especially for like the brand that I'm talking about, it's a fashion brand. So that Pinterest is perfect for it. You know, you just got to make it look pretty. And again, Becca, you're awesome at that. So, you know, it works. It really works. Like, especially, you know, with everything that's going on with Facebook and Apple and all that stuff and the ads and, you know, everything that goes along with it. That's a few months ago, it was October last year. I was like, all right, we really got to take it serious and start diversifying traffic. And that's when we started playing with Snapchat, TikTok, and I mean, Pinterest and TikTok are by far the winners for us, at least with that brand. So,
Very cool.
It's a lot of work. That's why there's people like you have an agency like yours who can take care of that stuff. So, okay. So I know I got sidetracked with the software and all that stuff, but okay. You pick a video from everything that I send you. Where does it go from there?
So we do the whole putting it in all those different software things we talked about. Mm-hmm. We then, after we have our finished pieces of content that we've broken up in the various ways that we talked about through Descript, I will upload those back to a Google Drive, and then the client just has a whole drive full of content that they can approve and use. And then for some of our clients, we also schedule and write captions for their social media. And so we just use the Facebook Business Manager for that. Mm-hmm. Because I still feel like you get better results going through Facebook than using a third-party scheduler.
Yeah, always. Yeah, I've tested it. You do, but it's like, it's, again, I like that. We use a tool called Later, and I just like it because it's just like, I personally don't care much about organic because I'm driving the ads behind it, and it gives it massive growth. But if you're doing organic, for sure, like, concentrate using the tools provided by Facebook, because they do not like any third-party tools. Yeah. But it's a lot of work. So, okay. And what about blogs? I know you guys do blogs as well. How do you approach that side of the business? Are you taking the content from the videos and then chopping it up into a blog as well? Or you write, is there like an amount of topics that you pick from? How does that work?
So we actually don't write any blogs for any of our clients currently, but the company that I used to work for was heavy into the blogging side. And kind of the process is the same. You know, you use your content calendar, you pick out, I mean, the same as we would for creating somebody's graphics. You create a content calendar, you start with your content pillars, and, you know, maybe you're planning 1 month at a time. It's, what is your goal for the month? What are your main things you want to talk about this month? Let's create 3 or 4 or 5 main topics, and then let's create content around those.
Got it.
But I also think that, let's say you have a YouTube channel, or you're sending me a video from a course that you've created, that all of that stuff, once we throw it into Descript, we have a transcript, and it's super easy to go make a blog post from that, or bullet point it, or, you know, come up with, maybe you break it into 3 or 4 or 5 different blog posts, depending on what you're covering on that video.
Absolutely.
I mean, just from what we've talked about today, you could probably turn this into, I think, at least 3 different blog posts.
You think so? Yeah, I guess you could see that. Yeah.
We talked about the content and the software, and those could each be their own blog posts.
Yeah. See, this is why you're good at what you do, because you think about that. I'll be like, I will have to watch the whole thing. I'll probably pick out one thing. But yeah, most people probably think like I do. It's just one subject instead of breaking it up, extracting 3 different, points from it. That's really, that's one way to look at it. See, I learn something new every day. That's why I do what I do.
That's awesome.
I love it.
The best part about being a podcaster is you talk to all these people and you get to hear perspectives that are completely different.
I told people before, like, the coolest part about this is that I get to talk to people who are, just starting out, because I'm, if I like you, I don't care if you just started out, because everybody has a story, right? But I also get to talk to like CEOs of top 50 companies. Like, it's like, I mean, only one so far, but that to me was mind blowing. Like, how do you get one-on-one like that? Like, it's the podcast. It's the only way to do it, which I thought it was amazing. And, I get to ask whatever I want on top of it. Like, people paid thousands and thousands for that information, and I got to do it. So that's really cool. That's why I recommend people, like, it's not for everybody. So pick a platform, stick to it, start that way. And then once that platform generates the revenue for it, then you can come in and hire somebody like you guys, and take care of it for you. I mean, I know that's what I'm going to do, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And then you got to concentrate on what it is that you do.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
All right. So Kim, where do we go from here? Where's the company going from here? You guys going to expand into offering different services? What's the plan in the next year for you guys?
Well, I would really love to get a little bit more into the course creation. I think that there is so much that people need to learn. And there's certain things that you find yourself repeating over and over again. Yeah. So we are probably going to offer some sort of online courses. But I really, really love the working one-on-one with people. So I'm never going to create anything where we're completely hands-off, because, again, I don't like just taking people's money. I want to know that you're getting something from it. So I'm not ever going to develop a course where I'm counting on you to spend 30 seconds with it and pay me a monthly fee and just forget.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, people ask me all the time, it's like, when are you going to release a course? When are you going to release a course? I'm like, dude, you have 200 videos that I could turn into a course already on my YouTube channel. Like, it's right there. I mean, if I create a course, it will take me at least a year to do it the way that I want to do it. And, the idea, everything changes too quickly. That's why I haven't done it. You know what I mean? And I still offer like consulting. I leave a couple hours open like during the week for like one-on-one consulting. And some of my colleagues is like, why do you even do that, man? I'm like, I enjoy it. When I started out, I didn't have that. Like, I had to learn the hard way, and I lost a lot of money. So just for the fact that, that I can help people in 1 hour and give them not the keys to the kingdom, but save them, a lot of time and money, that's worth it to me. And like, when I get the emails, it's like, oh my God, that's amazing. It helped me so much. I mean, that's like the best feeling ever,
I just love that look on somebody's face when you give them an idea and you can just see the light bulb.
Yeah, they're absolutely.
Like, I am totally going to do this. Yes, yes. I love that feeling. I love being there to watch that. Yeah. But I also like being that. I'm just never going to be hands off, because I also like being that person who is maybe a little bit of that nag. Hey, you were going to create this video. Hey, we were going to create this content. I haven't seen you post it yet. Did you make it?
Yeah. Stay on top of them.
Well, because you can listen, you can read all the books, you can watch all the podcasts, you can do all the things. But how many of those people that listen to a podcast or are listening right now are action takers? So few people do anything with the information. And so that's kind of where I am. I want to, whatever I do for you, I want to make sure you're acting on the information.
Well, you know what they say, right?
What?
When you give something away for free, people don't appreciate it. But you can grab the same thing, slap a $5,000 sticker on it, and most people will take action because now they spent their money to get it.
Yeah, that's true too.
I joke around all the time. It's like, I could literally take this channel down, wrap everything up, and sell it for $5,000 easily. But people don't think about it that way because it's free, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're a business and you need to take your business to the next level, go check out Kim's company, Iris Digital Media Group. That's irisdigitalmediagroup.com. Kim, where else can people find you? I'll put the links all in the description, obviously.
Yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook as Iris Digital Media Group. So just look for us there. Our website, irisdigitalmediagroup.com. If you go to our resources section, we have a couple of ebooks and some helpful blog posts just on, one of my favorites is, how do you maximize your audience for your Facebook Live? If you're going to go live, if you're going to have a podcast, how do you maximize your audience? How can you promote that? So you can find all that kind of stuff on our website.
Sweet. All right, everybody, make sure to go check it out. And as always, smash like, subscribe, helps with the algo. And then Kim, thank you so much. And everybody else, I'll see you guys later. Till next time.
Thank you.